Hey guys, it's me, Shemaine, and welcome back to my channel here at Cake and Curls. So as you guys can see by the title, I am going to be doing a very simple springtime glowy look, and I'm going to be taking you guys through what I do for my base, my foundation, keeping it simple but cute. So I'm going to be starting with, again, my face, and I did take my Rose Deep Hydration Facial Toner that is by Fresh, and I use that. As far as moisturizer, I am going to be taking my Glam Glow Illuminizing Moisturizer and Nude Glow, and then moisturize my face. And here I am taking my Tatcha Luminous Dewy Skin Mist and sprayed that. So I like to have my skin kind of glowy underneath, very hydrated while I am working through this look. So next I am going to be doing my brows. I do have a more in-depth brow video that I will have linked on this video. So as you guys can see, I did do a little bit of cleanup, and what I like to do is take a little bit of setting powder and set around my brows. Sometimes they can get a little oily, especially with using moisturizer. So I did kind of set my brows a little bit, just so that, you know, this product doesn't move around too much, because we don't want those brows to smear. So next I am taking my NYX Micro Brow Pencil, and I believe this is in chocolate, and I am just going to outline my brows, create my arch, and kind of fill in some of those sparse areas. And yeah, like I said, I'll have my brow routine or an updated brow video link somewhere on this video if you want more of a slower step-by-step for that. But for brows, I'm going to kind of sweep through these and move right along. Alright you guys, so now that I have my brows done, I am going to be taking my Pro Filter Instant Retouch Primer by Fenty Beauty, of course, and I'm going to be priming my skin. I've been loving this primer lately. It is very moisturizing, unlike a lot of silicone-based primers. This keeps my skin very moisturized. And so next I am going to be taking my Skin Tune Blur Perfecting Primer Serum, and this is by Versailles, and I like to use this in the center of my face where I tend to get a little bit more oily. This serum is much thicker of a consistency, so it's not like any of their other Versailles serums that I've used before. So I like to just focus that in the center and then move right along to my foundation. So foundation, I am going to be using, of course, my Fenty Beauty Pro Filter foundation. This is in the shade 340, and I am just using this Morphe brush. It is a Y6 brush, and I am just blending that out. So I like to start with blending my foundation with a brush. I find that I get better coverage when I start off with using a brush, pressing that into the skin, and then finishing off with a beauty sponge, Real Techniques, Beauty Blender, whichever one you prefer, and further blending that into the skin. So take your time with your foundation. Obviously you want your base to be as close to perfect as possible. So just take your time, blend that close to the ears, down the neck. You don't want a mask of foundation, so definitely make sure you blend everything all together and try to get that foundation as seamless as possible. So as I mentioned before, I do like to take my Real Techniques beauty sponge, and this is a damp sponge, by the way, and I am just pressing that foundation into the skin. So this also helps kind of eliminate any excess oiliness or anything that you might get on the skin from the foundation, and I am just pressing that into the skin, making sure everything is all blended out and it's more of that airbrush look. So next I am going to go ahead and reach for my NARS concealer. This is in medium dark 1.5, and this is a new concealer for me. I want to say this might be their Radiant Creamy Concealer. I have heard nothing but great reviews with this concealer, and so I just wanted to try it out. So as far as my overall thoughts on the concealer, I really love how the concealer blends out, but I did find that it dries down very quick, so you have to move very fast. So as far as my contour stick, I do believe that is in NYC or NYX creamy concealer contour stick. I'll make sure I have it linked down below in the description bar because I really forgot. But I am taking that same Real Technique sponge and I am blending all of that out and further blending out my concealer as well. Alright, so as mentioned before, I did really like this concealer as far as my overall first impressions. This is, again, my first time using this concealer, and I thought that it blended out very flawlessly. And it's also very buildable, so as you guys can see, I am adding another small amount or small layer of concealer underneath my eyes, and I'm just blending that out just to get a little bit of extra coverage. And for setting powder, I am using my Pro Filter setting powder by Fenty Beauty and Banana, and I am just setting everywhere that I use that concealer just to brighten underneath my eye. So I didn't go too heavy with the setting powder. Again, I wanted to keep this pretty light. This is one of my go-to looks anyways, but for the springtime, you know, as it's starting to warm up, I think that the lightest makeup is sometimes the best, just because you don't feel so caked up and heavy on your skin. So I am just using a light layer of setting powder, and then I am going to brush that away. Okay, so this next product is a first timer for me as well. This is Fenty Beauty Sun Stalker Instant Warmth Bronzer. And as you guys can see, I am in the shade Caramel Cutie. So I am just using that to warm up the face. Typically when you use setting powders and everything, it can kind of like wash out the face and your foundation a little too much. So I am just adding some warmth back in the face and just defining my contour a little bit with using this bronzer on my skin. So, you know, obviously spring, summertime coming up, you want to have like that warmth bronze look. So I'm just using that and blending. So as far as overall first impressions, loving the bronzer. I didn't really expect anything different, honestly, because I love Fenty products. I've become such a lover of the Fenty Beauty line in general. So I'm taking that same bronzer and I am just warming up the eyes. I'm keeping the eyes very simple. Normally when I do this like go-to look or like this springtime glowy look, I don't really do too much to the eyes, but add just some warmth to my crease and throwing some of that same bronzer underneath just to add a little bit of depth underneath the eyes as well. So as far as lashes, I am going to be taking the Lily lashes. These are in Mykonos, and they are the light 3D mink lashes. So these are my first time wearing these as well. I am trying out a lot of new products. For highlighter, I am taking my Juvia's Place Nefertiti highlighter, and this is more of like a golden highlighter, as you can see, and using that to highlight the highest points of my cheekbones, my cupid's bow, inner tear duct, brow bone, all of that jazz. So I am using a lot of makeup that I haven't used or haven't really touched in a while. I have have been just like so busy lately that I haven't really gotten a chance to like sit down and actually record using a lot of this new makeup that I've gotten. So, you know, hey, this is a first timer and first impressions for a lot of the makeup that I have on today. So another thing I did not mention while I am highlighting the hell out of my face is I did use my NYX Wonder Pencil in medium, and I used that in my waterline, and I just used some telescopic mascara by L'Oreal on my bottom lash line as well. Now, as far as blush, I am taking my Orgasm blush by NARS. You guys know that is a classic if you are a lover of makeup. It is the most beautiful, like, iridescent pink blush, and I am not going too heavy on the blush either. I'm keeping it pretty light, just a light amount of blush, keeping it spring vibes. That's totally what we're going for. And so yeah, as far as lips, this lip liner I am using is NYX Suede Matte Lip Liner. This is in Vintage, and it is kind of like a deep maroon shade. I really like this liner. I've been loving using liners lately. I don't know, I go through these lip phases where I love lip gloss, I'm back to matte, love liners. So these are totally one of these liner phases where I'm going through right now. So I am going to be using that. And as far as liquid lipstick, I am going to be taking this matte liquid lipstick. This is by Kylie Cosmetics, and this is in the shade Cocoa K. I haven't used any of her liquid lipsticks here in a while, so it's actually kind of nice to throw one of them on and go with that. So after I actually did record this look, I did throw a lip gloss on that I did not show on camera, but I think that with this particular look, you can kind of keep it matte, no gloss on top, or throw a gloss on top if that's the vibe that you're going for. So as you guys can see, I am just taking this blending brush, and I typically just kind of like to brush some of that liquid lipstick out and just like help everything all blend together. So I mean, you can kind of like pat your lips to get it to blend, or you can use a brush. I find that it's a little bit easier for me. And last but not least, I am setting everything all in place. Whatever setting powder you prefer, I am going to and would suggest to use that. So you guys, that is pretty much it for the look. This is my ultimate go-to springtime look, glowy look. Love it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below if you want to see more videos like this. I really miss doing my makeup, so I'm gonna give you guys a cute little glamour shot, and I'm out of here, you guys. See you guys in my next video. Bye.